Observe the modern bank statement. To the untrained eye, it is a chaotic wilderness of digital transactions, a relentless migration of capital flowing out as quickly as it arrives. For many, this landscape is one of survival, a monthly struggle to keep the predators of debt and inflation at bay. But there is a way to tame this wilderness, a way to bring order to the chaos. It is a discipline as old as currency itself, yet as vital as the air we breathe. We call it the budget. The journey begins not with a spreadsheet, but with a single undeniable truth: net income. In the financial ecosystem, this is your take-home pay. It is the actual sustenance that remains after the taxman has taken his share and the future self has claimed its retirement contribution. This is your baseline, your foundation. Without a clear understanding of this figure, the architect cannot build. Once the baseline is established, we must categorize the inhabitants of our financial world. First, the fixed expenses. These are the giants: the rent, the mortgage, the insurance. They are immovable, predictable, and demanding. Next, the variable expenses: the cost of fuel, the price of groceries. They fluctuate like the seasons, requiring a keen eye and constant monitoring. And finally, the discretionary spending: the wants, the morning latte, the evening out. To the undisciplined, these are the small leaks that can sink the greatest ship. How then do we manage such a delicate balance?
Across the globe, two primary strategies have emerged, each with its own philosophy. There is the 50-30-20 rule, popularized by U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren. It is a model of elegant simplicity: 50% for your needs, 30% for your wants, and 20% for the future. It is a framework designed for flexibility, allowing the individual to breathe. But for those who crave total dominion over their coins, there is another path: zero-based budgeting. Championed by architects like Jesse Meckham and Dave Ramsey, this method demands that every single dollar be assigned a job. Before the month even begins, your balance is brought to zero on paper. It is a high-control strategy, leaving no room for the shadows to hide a single cent. Yet, even the most fortified budget faces the unexpected: the budget shock, the sudden car repair, the annual registration, the holiday season that arrives inevitably every December. To survive these, the wise practitioner employs sinking funds. These are small, deliberate reservoirs of capital filled slowly over time, specifically to douse the fires of irregular expenses. And behind it all, the emergency fund: a safety net of 3 to 6 months of expenses, the ultimate shield against the storms of life. But a conflict rages in the heart of every spender, a battle between mathematical efficiency and human psychology. When facing debt, do we use the avalanche method, targeting the highest interest rates first to save the most money? Or do we choose the snowball, paying off the smallest debts first to gain the psychological momentum of a quick win? There is no universal answer. There is only the strategy that you will actually follow. But in high-cost cities, where the rent consumes more than its fair share, the rules may bend. The latte factor may be debated by those who argue that one should focus on big wins, like negotiating a salary or lowering a mortgage, rather than obsessing over a cup of coffee. But make no mistake, whether you use an app, a ledger, or a simple envelope of cash, the act of budgeting is an act of liberation. It is the transition from being a passive observer of your life to becoming the master of your fate. The wilderness of finance is vast. It is unpredictable. But with a map in hand and a clear destination in mind, the journey is no longer a struggle for survival. It is the beginning of freedom.